One of the most popular Sony lenses that we see go out of our store is the Sony 85mm f1.8. It is a very inexpensive yet high quality portrait prime lens. So why is the Sony 85mm 1.4G Master still an extremely coveted lens, considering that you only get 0.4 more in aperture and depth of field, and it costs more than double the price? So today we're going to pitch these two lenses together and see if the 85mm 1.4G Master is worth the premium price tag. .85mm is a popular portrait focal length as it boasts a nice and tight composition, so you can get some good headshots and also some pretty nice popping portraits as well. Now Sony have designed both of these 85mm for their FE mount system, and we're going to go through a couple things in the video today to compare both these lenses. First off, Olivia is going to compare the design and the construction of both of these lenses, and then I'll talk about the optical construction of the lenses, the performance aspects of it, and we're going to go out and do a shootout and compare the image quality, and we'll finalize the video after that. So we're going to head on to Liv now, who's going to talk about the design and construction of both Sony 85mm.
Starting off, we have the Sony 85mm f1.8. It's made from a construction of plastic as well as metal, making it super lightweight. It's also sealed for moisture as well as dust resistance. On the front of the lens, we have a manual focus ring, and on the side, there's an AF/MF switch as well as a focus hold button. Moving on to the 85mm f1.4, the main differences are that it's larger and also heavier. It does have a rubber focus ring as well as a declickable aperture ring. The similarities are that it's still dust and moisture resistant, and it does still have the same AF/MF switch on the side and the focus hold button.
So now let's compare the optical construction differences in both of these lenses. Starting off with the aperture range. So the Sony 85mm 1.8 has an aperture range of f1.8 to f22, whereas the Sony 85mm G Master has an aperture range of f1.4 to f16, which means that the Sony 85mm 1.8 does have a more versatile aperture range. However, the 1.4G Master does allow you to get that little bit extra in depth of field and low light performance on its maximum aperture range. Now, to back up the apertures in both lenses, there is a 9 rounded blade aperture diaphragm in the 85mm 1.8 and an 11 rounded blade aperture diaphragm in the 85mm 1.4, giving you possibly a better bokeh result in the G Master than in the standard 1.8 lens. Now moving on to the inside of the lens, the Sony 85mm 1.8 houses only one extra low dispersion element to control aberrations as well as distortions, whereas the Sony 85mm 1.4G Master is a little more sophisticated, giving you one XA element and 3 extra low dispersion elements just to combat those aberrations, color fringing, color fidelity, and every other kind of minor imaging issue. So basing off that optical construction, the 85mm 1.4 is definitely more sophisticated and will aim to produce a better image quality over the 1.8. In addition, the Sony 85mm 1.4 is nano AR coated to help with surface reflections and glaring, whereas the 85mm 1.8 only has a standard coating on the front element. Now moving on to performance impressions on both lenses. In terms of autofocus, the 85mm 1.8 as well as the 1.4G Master both boast great autofocus speeds and accuracy. Now in terms of the actual sound, the motor in the 1.4 is a bit louder, however it won't really come up when you're doing video. Secondly, in terms of the actual usage of both lenses with Sony's electronic features, they both work pretty well in eye autofocus, which is great, as you will be using eye autofocus a lot if you're going to be using these lenses for portraiture as they're designed for. However, these lenses do boast good autofocus performance too if you are looking at doing some street photography, as well as just general all-round landscape photography too. In terms of ergonomics, what I love most about the Sony 85mm 1.4G Master is its ability to declick the aperture, giving you a smoother transition between your depth of field. Furthermore, it also has a nice rubberized manual focus ring, which has a good resistance to it in comparison to the Sony 85mm 1.8. Now, although both do boast large manual focus rings and is quite nice to use, the 1.4 definitely boasts a more premium experience when being used. On the topic of video, if you do decide to use the Sony 85mm 1.4 on your Sony system on a gimbal, it will be quite front heavy. So you might have to consider adding extra weight to the camera in order for it to balance well. Now, this won't be a problem for the 85mm 1.8 due to its reasonably well-weighted capabilities, and it will have a nicer, cleaner weight distribution from the camera to the lens. This can also be applicable as well when you're not going to be using the lens on a gimbal. If you do decide to use your 85mm 1.4 G Master for video or for even long-range photography, we advise getting some kind of battery grip or vertical hand grip just to keep that weight distributed evenly.
For today's images, we use both of the lenses on the Sony a7R III. Comparing the two lenses, there is a difference in optical quality. The corner sharpness is much better in the Sony 85mm 1.4 throughout all apertures. However, the center sharpness in both lenses are quite similar. One of the most attractive reasons as to why you should choose the 85mm 1.4 over the 1.8 is the beautiful bokeh quality it produces. The bokeh is super round and smooth. However, the Sony 85mm 1.8 produces fantastic bokeh results. Both lenses deal well with distortions and aberrations. Overall, basing off the optical quality, the Sony 85mm 1.4 G Master is more consistent and produces sharper images. However, the Sony 85mm 1.8 still holds up pretty well against it.
So why would you go to Sony 85mm 1.4 G Master when the 85mm 1.8 is an already capable portrait lens? The 85mm 1.4 boasts a much better build quality, a more premium ergonomic feel, and if you are a videographer, you'll appreciate the declicking element in the 85mm 1.4. Furthermore, you do get consistent sharpness and really nice bokeh, which honestly looks fantastic if you're going to be using it as a professional or even an enthusiast looking to get really nice popped out portraits. Now, that's not to say the 85mm 1.8 does not become a redundant lens next to the 1.4 G Master, as it produces pretty damn good photos too. You get nice bokeh results, great low light capabilities as well, and because it's so lightweight, it could be a great lens to carry around on your family day trips or just an all-round travel day where you're looking to take portraits on the street or even of your friends and family. So to answer our question, is the Sony 85mm 1.4 worth the price? And it definitely is with its premium quality. Now, although it won't be a lens for everyone, the 1.8 is a great alternative and we highly recommend either of these lenses if you are looking to produce some fantastic portrait work. If you have any questions on these lenses or have a suggestion for a future shootout, pop them in the comments below. Make sure to follow us at our Facebook, Instagram, as well as our blog to stay up to date with our latest events and what's going on in store. And as always, hit the like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our future updates as we upload videos weekly.